Well, good morning and welcome back out to another edition of Backcountry Trails. In today's episode, we're going to finish up our adventure out to the Big Pine Lakes in the Inyo National Forest in the John Muir Wilderness. On this episode, we're going to do our day hike from lake number 3 in the Big Pine Lakes Basin. We're going to head up toward, the junction between Lake 4, 5, and 6 and the Palisade Glacier Trail. So we're going to be taking the Glacier Trail up into Sam Mack Meadows. And Sam Mack Meadows is absolutely stunning. You're not going to believe the vivid colors. It's a spectacular area. And because it's almost at 12,000 feet, the growing season up there at Sam Mack Meadows is extremely limited. Plants are very delicate, and you definitely have to stay on the trail to make sure you don't do any more damage while you're up there. And if you continue on up the trail, you'll eventually get to the Palisade Glaciers, but we didn't have that in our itinerary today. We were just going to go up to Sam Mack Meadows and take in that spectacular view. So anyway, that's what this episode is going to be about, our day hike up to Sam Mack Meadows. And then on the way back, we got back to the junction of Lake 4, 5, and 6, and we decided to take a detour. We had some time to kill, so we thought, well, let's run over to Lake number 4, because I hadn't seen Lake number 4. I've been to Lake number 5 years ago. I hadn't been to Lake 4. So we decided to go to Lake number 4, check that out a little bit, and then we worked our way back to camp. And when we returned back to our base camp at Lake number 3, that's when we noticed the search and rescue helicopter spend at least an hour, minimum of an hour, flying around every little nook and cranny around Temple Crag, all along the Palisade Glacier, jagged peaks of Polemonium and Starlight and Mount Agassiz and some of the other, 14,000, 13,000 foot peaks, looking for that missing climber, Billy Pierson. So anyway, that's what this episode is going to be about. And then, of course, obviously, at the next morning, we're going to pack up and head down the hill to go back down to Big Pine and then make that drive home. So that'll all be coming up next in this edition of Backcountry Trails. But one little bit of good news, I guess, good news and bad news. The good news is I completed my training to become a Backcountry Wilderness Patrol Ranger. So that's done now. Now I'm certified. So now I can sign up on the calendar. I can pick basically any location that I want in the San Jacinto district of the San Bernardino National Forest. I can go do solo hikes. I could go with another seasoned ranger. I've explored so many different things and seen so many places that are off trail that most people wouldn't get to see, and they wouldn't even know they were there. So over the next, 6 months to a year, I'm going to see if I can hit some really interesting locations that aren't public knowledge and get in some great video of that as well. And the only bad thing is High Point Lookout is going to close down for the season here in a couple of weeks. And I only have one more shift, and then they're going to be done for the year. They'll be done for the season. But with the bad comes and more good. I talked to some people over at the San Jacinto Ranger District about about Black Mountain Fire Lookout and Tuckwitz Peak Fire Lookout. They were closed all year. They never opened up because of the lightning risk. They did meet grounding standards per the FAA, and they failed the inspection, so that's why they never opened. But since then, they have been re-inspected, and they actually got a bid from a company to do the necessary repairs, and it's not really that detailed. Still going to cost quite a bit, about $9,000. And of course, now with the government shutdown, it's going to be really hard to get the funding. But the good thing is the Forest Service Volunteers Association, which is the ones that take care of Black Mountain and Tuckwitz Peak, they've got some money in the bank, and they might front load that fund for that, and they might pay for it up front with the intention of seeking reimbursement from the National Forest Service. So hopefully if that gets done, they got to get to it quick because snow's going to be coming here in another month. Hopefully we'll get that done, and we'll get the fire towers open for next season. So anyway, stick around. We're going to head up to the Sam Mack Meadows up here in Big Pine Lakes, near Big Pine. Alrighty, we'll see you in a bit. Well, good morning. Today is our day hike day. We decided to leave the tents here as base camp and just take a small day hiking bag and head up above lake number 3 to the junction of 4 and 5 and work our way towards Sam Mack Meadows. Clouds have dissipated. It looks like it's going to be a crystal clear day. Hopefully it'll stay this way the rest of the afternoon. But it was cold last night. It got down to 31. It wasn't so much the temperature, but the humidity was 99%. And it just kind of chills you to the bone, you know. I tossed and turned several times. Had to go to the bathroom 3 separate times during the night. And it's never fun getting out of your tent when it's, 31 degrees. There was a little bit of ice on the rainfly, but the water bottles were fine. I put one inside a insulated holder, and the other one I kept inside the tent, and seemed to work fine. And the sun has come up, and we're enjoying the sunshine. It's already warmed up to, what is it, Jerry? 40? 40. It's 40 degrees right now, but the great thing is the humidity's dropped to, what is it, 67? Yeah, 67% humidity. So I decided I was going to eat some more granola, the hot granola. That worked pretty good yesterday, so I'm going to try that again today. This is Mountain House, a blueberry granola, and it looks pretty good. So we'll try that, and hopefully the sun will dry out. Everything's soaked. The rain flies has soaked through. All of our gear is, for the most part, if not so much from rain, but just humidity, just drenched. So anyway, hopefully this will all dry out, and we'll have a good hike today up to Sam Mack Meadows. All right, we are working our way up from lake number 3, and now we're heading to the junction of 4 and 5. And after climbing up out of the lake number 3 use trail, we hit a bunch of switchbacks, which was kind of tough. But now we're in this real nice riparian. There's a creek going through, lots of green plants, and there's a couple of meadows, one to the left and one to the right. And eventually we'll work our way to the junction of Lake 4 and 5 to the right, and Sam Mack Meadows, and the Palisade Glacier to the left. Here's another example of our little flowing creek. Scenic here. Check that out. All right, we have reached the junction. 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th lake to the right, and the Glacier Trail to the left. All right, we're heading towards Sam Mack Meadow. This is not a meadow, but what we do have is a really pretty stream with trout in it. We can see them swimming. There's one right there as it works its way downstream down to lake number 3. There's Temple Crag. Palisade Glacier is way up there. You ever seen those log rolling contests? This one's wiggly. Oh, jeez. All right, we're working our way up toward Sam Mack Meadow. We have to cross this small meadow to get to it. We're going to work our way up that way through those trees, I believe. Lots of climbing today. Lots of switchbacks. We're probably at 11,000 feet right here. We're working our way up the switchbacks to Sam Mack Meadow. Sam Mack Meadow and Sam Mack Lake is ahead of us. It's up there, so is the Palisade Glacier. Those peaks up there are, I think, almost 13,000 feet. All right, this is our rocky traverse along this trail here to get to Sam Mack Meadows. A lot of these rocks are loose, so you have to be careful where you step. Make sure you keep a hand free in case you hit a wobbly boulder. That's for over 11. I'm out of breath. Not hard to do up here. Well, behind me is Sam Mack Meadow. It's actually in front of me as well. We've hiked a little ways past the sign that heads across the creek, the outflow of Sam Mack Lake. It heads up several switchbacks, a lot of switchbacks, another 1,000 feet at least to the Palisade Glacier. But I've always wanted to experiment and hike further down into Sam Mack Meadows. So Jerry and Dave already went down there. They went out a little ways and they're waiting for me, so I'm going to hike down there and meet up with them. But boy, what a gorgeous meadow. Filling up pure glacier water. It's a scenic lake. Never actually been to Lake 4. Well, this is lake number 4 in the chain of lakes up in Big Pine. After taking a lunch stop over at lake number 4, which was very scenic, by the way, we didn't see any campsites that were really that nice where we were near the peninsula, but I think if you walked farther around the lake, you'd find some great spots. Well, anyway, we made it back down to lake number 3, and as we were approaching the turnoff from the trail down to our campsite, we kept hearing noise from a helicopter over by Temple Crag. So for about the next hour, we kind of sat there taking in the views of the helicopter and watching him make repeated runs all around the perimeter of Temple Crag and also along the tops of the other nearby peaks, looking for the missing climber. Maybe they've discovered something on the ledge. Guess we won't know for a few days, unless they try to do a body recovery this afternoon. Well, we've got search and rescue helicopter looking for that missing climber. He's scouring the top of the ridge from Temple Crag over above the Palisade Glacier. He's been up there looking for about the last 20 minutes. Well, we've had this search and rescue helicopter that's been hovering pretty much that same area over Temple Crag at about 14,000 feet. Just over the peak, there's a climber that has been missing for a month. His car is at the trailhead, and we spoke to the Inyo National Forest deputy, or the Inyo County Sheriff deputy, who told me that they had tagged the car a couple weeks ago, thinking it was just somebody that decided to overnight camp and violated the rules and parked in the day use. Well, then they forced the vehicle open, and they discovered that he was a day hiker and a climber, and he's almost a month overdue. So they called search and rescue who came out, spoke to him. We were there when that happened. And I have a feeling that they just decided if it's been a month, the likelihood of somebody surviving up there with a fairly serious injury or slim to none. So at this point, it's probably a body recovery. So this helicopter's flown around the top of the 14ers up there above the Palisade Glaciers, Palomonium and Starlight and Thunderbolt, and above the top of Temple Crag. But he's been focusing on that one area. He's been hovering. He's been hovering there for 15, 20 minutes. He'll look and then he'll leave and he'll search some more and then come back. So maybe they found out that the intended climbing route that this guy was supposed to climb is on that side. So maybe they're looking for some type of evidence. Brightly colored shirt or part of a sleeping bag or who knows. Maybe in a couple of days we'll find out on the news that they've recovered the body. All right, well, today was our day hike day from lake number 3, the Big Pine Lakes. Our goal was to head up above camp, get back on the trail, work our way to the north and east to the junction where the Palisade Glacier Trail goes to the left and trail to the right goes toward lakes 4 and 5 and eventually Black Lake. So our goal was to go up the Glacier Trail, up the switchbacks to a place called Sam Mack Meadows. And Sam Mack Meadows is kind of a canyon, goes back quite a ways. It's an alpine meadow canyon. It's just stunning. And from there, if you cross over the creek, you can start working your way all the way up to the top and get a good view of the Palisade Glaciers. But we weren't doing that today. We were mainly just trying to see Sam Mack Meadow, which is what we did. So what do you think, Dave? Was it hard?
So anyway, yeah, it was kind of hard, yeah, but the reward of the meadows was worth it, and it did give us a chance to let our equipment, our tents and such to dry out today. So that worked out well. Everything's completely dry, and it was a perfect day weather-wise. What, 50s and 60s, I guess, maybe, and such, and not a cloud in the sky really.
Yeah, the weather was perfect today.
Big change after yesterday with the rainstorm.
And the trail going, once we got it on top of the switchbacks, the trail going toward that junction, and even past the junction, the beginning part of the Glacier Trail was actually pretty scenic, I thought. We were in the canopy of pine forest, and there was a creek that was going right by us, and the grade was it was uphill, but it wasn't too bad until we hit the switchbacks. What do you think, Jerry?
I didn't find it to be a difficult day, but you mentioned that meadow we had walked through it early on, and then you'd come across the spot where the water was all frozen. So it was
Yes.
A small little stream had stopped. So we went 31 last night. I had a lot of ice on the tents and needed the 99% humidity to go down. We're climbing up pretty quick here. We're at 49 and 48%. So. But the meadow was absolutely stunning. The views from there were awesome. We talked to some guys that are behind us earlier this evening, and they had gone all the way up looked like it was another mile probably from the meadow to the glacier view, but a brutal mile.
Yeah, I had been up there probably 10 years ago, and it was all loose boulders and rocks, and the rocks are large. Some of them are, the size of your coffee table, and some are as large as your car. And it's almost like somebody cracked an ice tray and just dumped them out. And so there's no real route or trail to get up there. You kind of have to pick your way, and it's steep. And some of those rocks have really acute angles to them. So you're not going to be jumping on flat boulder to another flat boulder. You really got to pick your route. And then if you misjudge, there's little chasms in between the rocks, and some of them are 2 or 3 feet, and some are 10. So you really got to be careful, because if you miscalculate your jump, or if you land a jump and you slide off, you're going to end down at the bottom. And if you get hurt, you twist your ankle, you break a bone up there, you're going to have a tough time getting out, and you're going to have to get rescued because that's not a great spot to get hurt. The reward is obviously the view from up there, not only of the glacier, but the view looking backward over all of the lakes in the chain of the Big Pine Lakes 1, 2, and 3. But Sam Mack Meadows was awesome. The colors are phenomenal. It's all this time of year. It's not quite fall yet, but it's all gold and yellow and red, and there's water running through the middle of it. And Jerry, what did you say about the water?
Well, first of all, with the guys that had gone up to the glacier, they said that they thought Sam Mack Meadow was more impressive than the glacier itself. So
Yeah, somebody mentioned that.
Yeah.
Which
that was
was
that thing too. But
kind of surprising.
I don't know, the water we were sitting at, I just saw the gray, that that greenish till coming down one way, but not down another way. But it was we only saw one other couple up there, right? And then some other hikers that were going up to the glacier, but not a lot of people up there today. There's a lot of people here tonight, so
Yeah,
crowded.
pretty much every campsite here is taken. We did run into those two gals that were backpackers, and they told us they were up there yesterday during the lightning and thunderstorm, and they said it was pretty, hair raising up there. That they were scared, and but they didn't get down right away. It didn't sound like either. They were
chucking everything in the backpacks to get the heck out of there.
Yeah, it's like they were on the move to try to get down to a safer area. And then this afternoon, we don't know what kind of helicopter it was. We're assuming it's some kind of search and rescue helicopter. Was flying right over the top of Temple Crag and the other 14,000 foot peaks that are over there. And he was spending a lot of time going in and out of the individual peaks, and also he was working like a grid back and forth in front of the face of them, and he was going really slow and taking his time doing a thorough search for a missing climber that has been missing for, what do you say, a month? So I don't know what they would hope to find. And there's still some snow up there in the slots, and we got a fresh batch of snow at the higher elevations, but today when we were up there, we noticed that on the way down, a lot of it's melted. So hopefully tonight won't be as cold as last night. The humidity, I think, really made a big difference. We've been down lower than 31 degrees. We were in the Mojave, and it was, 18, 17?
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't as cold as, I wasn't as cold as what it was here when it was 31. But anyway, so I think we're all having a good time. Tomorrow's we're packing up, and we're going to be heading out. And at least we'll be going downhill. And we can say that on this trail, I think most of the trail is going to be downhill. We'll have some ups, like we have to go up to get back to the trailhead, back up to the trail junction. And then from then, it should be pretty much downhill all the way. So, you guys had...
It's like coming out of Lake 2. Coming out of Lake 2, that up was brutal.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Yeah. But it's been a good trip. Yesterday we had to hunker down in our tents from 12:30 until 4.
Oh, we ran into the Whitney guy.
Oh, yeah, we
yeah,
ran
that's a
into
good
a guy
story.
from Ontario that lives out in Cedar City, Utah. Yeah, tell him about that, Jerry. The guy was crazy.
Tell him I'm pounding down this beef stroganoff here. This is good.
This guy, today is, what, Saturday? Today's Saturday. Friday, so yesterday, he completed Mount Whitney. So he did 22 miles yesterday, and he got down in the valley, and he drove over here, and now he's day hiking another 14, 15-mile loop. So that guy was a hiking fool, man.
And about 65 years old.
64.
Yeah, he said he was retired, so yeah, he's probably our age, but clearly in better shape than I am, because I could have done that for sure. But we're going to enjoy our last night here in the Big Pine Lakes region and enjoy each other's company and hopefully, get some good sleep tonight. And the only bummer is you can't have a campfire here, but considering we've got this tremendous view of this amphitheater of majestic mountains, it's pretty impressive. It's something that you'll take with you for another 40 years if we live that long. And I've probably taken 20 gigabytes of photos and video that I'll spend some time going through once I get home. So Anyway, we're going to hit it here pretty soon. As soon as it starts getting dark, it starts getting cold. So we did stay up for a little while last night and watched some stars. We watched all the satellites. That was fun. But then it started getting cold, so we headed to bed about then. So
The Milky Way.
yeah. All right, we'll catch up with you probably again in the morning. Well, believe it or not, the next morning when we woke up, we headed out back down toward Big Pine, and I did not record any video or audio. I guess I was really tired, or maybe I was just in a hurry to get out and get back down to the car. Who knows? But the hike down was pretty much uneventful, and luckily it was almost entirely downhill. We had a few small uphill sections, but nothing too major. And once we got back to the Long Cheney cabin, we took a good break, talked to some interesting people, and got caught up on our hydration and got a few snacks and took a little group selfie. And then we worked our way back down through the canyon. When we got down to the bottom of the canyon, or at the top of the canyon, we had the choice of either taking the high trail back or the lower trail, which is the one we took on the way out. We decided to take the upper trail back. It's a little more of a straight shot, and it is definitely all downhill all the way. And it's something that we didn't do on the way up. But when we got to the junction of the upper trail and the lower trail, you can either go down through the steep switchbacks above the first and second falls, and it dumps you right out at the trailhead, or you can continue to the left that goes through the backpackers camp, and there's another higher trail that kind of goes through the sagebrush. I've taken that one other time, and it's kind of uneventful and boring, but it leads you straight to the vehicles. But when we were at the bridge near that upper falls, I ran into a guy who told us that the missing climber's family, Billy Pierson's family, was actually at the trailhead. So we went back the same way we went up. And when we got down to the trailhead, we did, in fact, meet Steve, who was Billy's brother, who's also from Seattle. And he was telling us some of the things about Billy. And, it's hard to look at the guy's brother and not feel sad for him, because the outcome is not going to be good. But he told us a little bit of something about Billy that we didn't know. He said that Billy fell in a crevasse in Nepal back in April, and he broke his back. This is in April. I mean, we're talking September now. And he said that he was recovering, and this was one of his first recovery climbs. So this is a hike that we would do once every decade, and this is something that he was doing as a recovery hike. So it tells you the physical capability of Billy and the experience that he had. And he said that they've been looking and they've been checking, and hopefully they'll get an update over the next couple of days. Well, that's been almost a month and a half now since our hike, and still no word of Billy Pierson. So he's still missing. Nothing has been found. There's been no evidence. There's been no recovery. And of course, now the area is probably under 3 feet of snow. So we're going to have to wait till next year to find out what happened to Billy Pierson. But anyway, when we got down to town, we stopped by Hugo's Barbecue, which we thought was a barbecue place. And it was kind of a strange combination of a barbecue place and a Mexican restaurant. Hispanic gal, really super sweet, that worked the counter. We ended up getting I ended up getting a pulled pork sandwich, and I think Jerry got tri-tip or something, and Dave got an all-in-one breakfast burrito. And it was kind of funny because he ate that thing all the way back to the house. It took him like 5 hours of driving to finish that thing. So that was kind of funny. Well, anyway, we made it back in time for dinner, and not that we needed it after that big lunch, but it was a good trip. And the only thing we got coming up in the near future, I do have a couple things in the works. One is a trip that I've been wanting to do. I found it. I'm always trying to find something new and interesting, and I found this location. It's called Hercules' Finger, and it sounds kind of silly. I'll show you a picture of it. It looks like a rock pile where the rock has given you the finger. It's pretty funny. And not too far from that is also the largest freestanding boulder in the world. And I was kind of doubting that, but I've Googled it and I've done some research, and sure enough, it is. And it's in the middle of nowhere in the Mojave. I guess it's Mojave Desert on the backside of Big Bear near Landers, and kind of out by Joshua Tree. And they're not that far from each other. So it looks like that might be a good destination, some place to go visit for maybe just a one-night, overnight trip coming up in the next month or two. And the only other thing that I have kind of in the works that I've been kicking around for a long time, and I want to go to Blue Angel Peak. It's right on the Mexican border. And There's also a place called Smuggler's Cave. So between the Smuggler's Cave and Blue Angel Peak, that'd be another interesting side trip for me to do. There's some danger involved in that one, not for the hike, but because it's on the Mexican border and there's been some illegal activity and violent activity right on the border. Actually on that trail, there's actually been hikers robbed from banditos from Mexico that have come over the border and robbed tourists that are doing hikes. So we have to be careful of that. I don't think that's going to be a solo hike for me. So well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode, our trip out to Sam Mack Meadows and the series on the Big Pine Lakes Adventures, our hike from the base camp right there at the Big Pine Lakes Campground, past the Lon Chaney cabin and up to that phenomenal view over Lake 2 and Temple Crag, and eventually our exciting thunderstorm that came on us at Lake 3, and our scenic trip up to see Sam Mack Meadows. Well, anyway, don't forget to click and subscribe and tap that notification bell to get the latest updates to the channel when I post them. And I'll see you down the trail. Maybe it'll be in San Jacinto while I'm a wilderness ranger. Maybe I'll have to check your permit. Anyway, you have a good fall season, and this is a great time to go hiking. So I'll talk to you soon. Alrighty, take care. Bye-bye.
Well, we're getting kind of bored. So hopefully it'll stop soon enough so I can go out and take a leak maybe and scout out some more of the lake.
You ever seen one of these before? A Johnny Pop Mini freeze-dried popsicle. I'm gonna try it. Looks interesting.